And now, Giants Sports Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Eric and Glenn.
Welcome to Giants Sports Talk Live for the postgame, Game 3, San Francisco Giants, Colorado Rockies. What's up, Dean? What's up, Salsa? What's up, champ? Hopefully everyone is having a great Saturday evening. Hopefully your guys had a great Saturday. Yeah, the game had some dramatics today, huh? Got a little bit concerned there. A little bit concerned. What's up, Anthony? Yeah, got a little weird. But Giants were able to get it come out on top, man. How about that? Matt Chapman with the big blow. Grand slam. Woo-wee. Wow. That's what you get paid for the big bucks, though, right? Right? That's what you get paid the big bucks for. You got to go out there and do that stuff. We could sit there and we could talk about Jordan Hicks, guys. Had a great 5 innings. Fantastic 5 innings. That 6th inning, not so much. Bottom absolutely fell out. Again, this is a conversation I think we need to have with Jordan Hicks. Are you guys okay with just having Jordan Hicks going 5 innings and that's it? Because its history has shown both last year and this year, 5 is about the limit for him. That's about it, man. After you go 5, you're rolling the dice, so to speak. I don't know. It's something we could talk about a little bit later. But let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, by the way, guys, Glenn should be joining us later. Hopefully he's got some technical difficulties trying to get his camera and his microphone to work. I think he's using a new iPad, if I'm not mistaken. So he's having some issues. All right. Let's see. Let's get into this right now, guys. Here we go.
And now, today's Giants in review on Giants Sports Talk Live.
Win 6-3 against the Colorado Rockies. They improved to 21-13. Colorado is now 6-27. Colorado scored 3 runs on 5 hits. San Francisco, 6 runs on 5 hits. 1 error, another one from Chapman. Then again, he gets a lot of chances there at third base, so I'm not gonna panic. It did not cost the Giants a run, but no, you still want to see out there. I mean, it hit the top of his glove. It's gonna happen, right? It's baseball, man. It's baseball. Randy Rodriguez gets the win because he came in relief of Jordan Hicks, who was leaking oil in a bad way in the 6th inning. Didn't even get 1 out in the 6th inning. He improves to 2-0 with a 1.23 ERA. Bird gets the loss. Walker gets the save to drop his ERA a little bit further, which is good to see because he came out and did well. The bullpen, for the most part, did good. Rodriguez, unfortunately, gave up a hit, so that kind of soured the day a little bit. But still, I thought the bullpen was pretty good. All right, let's get into the lineup, guys. Yastrzemski had a tough day today, had 2 strikeouts, but he did have a walk, 0 for 3. Adames, 1 for 2, 2 walks. I'm liking Adames, man. Adames is coming around, guys. Willie Adames is coming around, and it's great to see because his bat has been lacking for the first part of the season. But he's starting to get hot now, and I like what I see. Yeah, keep it up. It's only a matter of time but before that ball starts leaving the yard a little bit more often. Chapman, again, big day. His hit was a freaking right center field home run into the bullpen. Just barely cleared it. Hey, but it was enough, man. Was able to score all 4 runs. That allowed the Giants to go from 3-1. No, what was it? No. What was it at that time? I can't remember. It was tied. My bad. It was tied up. And then the Giants with that home run. Oh no, it was 3-2. I'm sorry, because it scored 4. He scored 4 runs on that one. So yeah, he was able to help the Giants get that victory today, along with Luis Matos, and we'll get to him in a short bit. Ramos was 0-4 today. He looked a little bit tough game for him today, but that's okay. No big deal. Lamont Wade, 0-4 again today. Back down to 125. No strikeouts, no walks, no hits. Bailey was 1-4. He had a nice solid hit to right field today. Luis Matos, guys. I liked Luis Matos today. Gosh, dang it. I wish the guy could just get some more at-bats. I think that's the biggest issue that's confronting him. Matter of fact, he said so in the post game, right? I'll bring that up here on Twitter here in a little bit. But he said, hey, it's hard to freaking, get started when you don't play every day. Hey, right on. Hell of this, hell of that. Awesome. Beautiful day for a baseball game, right? The ballpark was packed. I was watching it on TV. Beautiful Saturday in the city. Yeah, RJ head case Hicks. We'll get more into it, but all right. Oh shoot, what did I do? Did I get rid of? I got rid of that. What am I doing, man? Come on. Didn't mean to get rid of that. There we go. But yeah, Matos, he went 1-4 today, 2 walks, but that one hit he had was a big fly. Awesome, dude. His approach today was much better. I like what I saw in Matos, but the problem is how often is going to be able to do that? And why does it keep doing this? What in the hell is going on here? Hold on. That's why. There we go. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what you could do with Matos. It's just he can't. He can't. That's the problem. He just can't. Who are you going to take out of the lineup? Today he was the DH, so they gave Flores a day. But gosh, dang, man. What's up, Fernando? What's up, LD? Yeah, I don't know. Wisely 0-4, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Let's look at the pitching line, guys. We're going to have some conversations about this. Again, Jordan Hicks goes 5. He was fantastic in 5. Fantastic. Matter of fact, I think at the time he only had, was it 1 hit? I think he had 1 hit or something coming into the 6th. And then all of a sudden, when the 6th started, he comes back out for the 6th, I should say. 3 hits, gave up 2 walks, wind up giving up 3 earned runs. He just lost it, man. He just lost it. Rodriguez comes in to save the day. He gave up 2 hits. Fortunately, he couldn't extricate Hicks out of the situation that he created. Duvall came in for a clean inning. Miller came in with only 1 walk. Walker came in with a clean inning with 1 strikeout. So, yeah, man. But it was a win, and that's what's most important. The Giants were able to get a win because that's all that matters right now. You got to get a win. We could sit there and we could sit there and we could talk about individual players, and that's what we'll do here in a minute. But yeah, look, against the Colorado Rockies, when Colorado went up 3-1, I got a little concerned. I don't know if anyone else got concerned. I was, because the bats really weren't doing anything. You had Matos with that with the big fly, But then other than that, the Giants weren't really able to mount anything against Blaylock. I don't know what it was, but it was tough. But the Giants were able to bounce back. They had some fight in them today. And the good thing is Melvin got Hicks out of there fairly quick, right? I think once, I don't know, because I was kind of in and out and watching that particular time. I don't know how many times they were showing the bullpen, but it looks like they got the bullpen up fairly quick, because soon as Hicks gave up that leadoff walk, I was a little bit leery. I was like, what is going on? And then he gave up a hit, and then it's like, oh, here we go, man. And if I'm not mistaken, after they gave up that hit, that was it for him. Bob Melvin went out there and got him. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? You guys keep going with Hicks in the rotation? I mean, the Giants got two issues right now in the rotation. Hicks and Roop. Big question marks. Before Verlander, to a certain extent, was a little bit of a question mark. But I tell you what, Webb, Verlander, and Ray, they're locking it down. Those guys are locking it down right now. Besides Webb's start in San Diego, everybody's had fairly decent starts in their last go-around. I think Verlander, his last 3 or 4 have been great. Ray's last 3 or 4 have been good. I mean, heck, Ray is freaking 4-0, man. He hasn't lost yet. So he's getting the job done. And, of course, Webb is doing Webb things, man. But with Roop and Hicks, we can't have two guys like that in the rotation where you just don't know what you're going to get. And you're going to wind up decimating your bullpen if you keep doing that. Sure, yeah, you got 2 long guys in there. You got Birdsong and you got a Bivens. But I got a feeling maybe Birdsong gets a call up here pretty soon. I don't know. I mean, that's going to be the decision for the club. What's up, Douglas? What's up, Douglas? All the way from Orlando. Via Frisco, he says. Go Gigantes! Hey, appreciate you, Douglas. Welcome to the fraternity we call Giants Sports Talk Live. Everybody is welcome. Awesome. Good to see you, Douglas. Looks like you're a long-time Giants fan, huh? Right on, dude. Sweet. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. But anyways, are you okay? Are you okay? Let me ask this question. Are you guys okay with Hicks just going 5? And that's it. That's it. You go 5 and then you're done. No matter what he's doing, because if you saw today, he was cruising, and then the 6th inning came around and he absolutely probably not till next year, Anthony. They had to push that one out. Because of everything going on. Yeah, it's a mess right now. But anyways. Yeah. You want to do a poll? Let's do a poll. Let's see what you guys think out there. Let me get this thing up here. It's been a while since I've done a poll, and I haven't done a game for a while either. I think we all can understand who the player of the game is today, right? Player of the game, we'll just say is Chapman. All right, let's see. Hold on. Let me do it this way. Here we go. Just bear with me. Last one. There we go. I think this covers it up. Here we go. Poll is out there. What do you prefer? What's up, Dallas? What's up, Joey? Interest rate. Yes, Anthony. That's the problem. Interest rates. Don't even get me started. It's just going to piss me off. I don't want to even talk about it. Yeah, Dallas, you get a grand salami, you got a good chance of being player of the game. Absolutely. Because the Giants needed that. The Giants needed that in a bad way. Yeah, see, Anthony? Yeah. Gotcha, man. Yeah, you're in the same. Get this dub tomorrow. He got these. Yeah, let's do it, man. We got to. Douglas, have to. Douglas, the Giants need to win. Tomorrow's a must win. You cannot split against the Rockies. The Rockies, the worst team in the major leagues. You can't, man. No, Robert, that's not true. That's not a large contract. That's a misnomer. Come on, guys. Come on. It's not a big contract. Hicks' contract is not a large contract. That is the going rate for freaking bullpen arms, man. What's up, Robert? Look, I don't know. It does, Anthony. Absolutely. All right, let's see what we got so far. What are you guys saying? 24 votes. Interesting. 26 votes. What would you prefer? Hicks only going 5 innings, let him have no restrictions, or send to the pinned. What's up, Sean? 42% for going 5 innings, 12% no restrictions, send to the pin, 46%. Kind of a little bit of an even split between 5 innings and send to the pin. Okay. All right. All right. Joey, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. But you are welcome here anytime, Joey. Just you want to relax, come here and relax. They're allocated 1 loss to the Rockies this season. It's been you, so let's get the next 10. There you go, Dallas. I like it. Yeah, I tell you what, though, man. You know how it is when they go to freaking – I would have rather have taken that loss in Colorado because you already know how games go down in Colorado. They are not fun. Douglas says Hicks to the pin. Sean says Birdsong start. Can I mention Hicks' contract? Do you want to do that? Let's do that. All right. Let's take a look at Mr. Hicks's contract, shall we? Man, I haven't brought up this in forever, man. I was bringing this up all the damn time and during the offseason. Wow. Well, look. Hicks. Can I highlight the whole row? No. All right, whatever. Let's do it this way. Let me actually minimize a little bit. Here we go. Let's take a look at what Hicks is getting paid. All right, Hicks. 4 years, $44 million. 12 and a half. Well, hold on. What was this year? Yep. This year, 12.5 million, 12.5 million, 12.5 million. There you go. Well, there you go. 12.5 million is not starter. That's not starter money, guys. It just isn't. Just isn't. 12.5 million. That's bullpen money, guys. That is not starter money. You start getting up into 15 million right around there in that region. Then you're talking starter money. Sean says his top 4ers are Webb, Ray, Birdsong, Verlander. That's a solid 4 there, baby. I would agree with you there, Sean. I want to see Birdsong, man. We saw him last year, right? And he did fairly okay, right? For his first look, he was only, 22, 23 years old last year. He came out decent. Then he had some struggles, and then he finished the season pretty damn strong. And now he's got this damn changeup that is absolutely devastating. Gosh, man. Yeah, I don't know. Are we really that surprised that we are second guessing another Farhan experiment for Hicks? Absolutely. And see, this tells you something too, guys. Maybe it was more. Look, because last year, and I think it did have a lot to do with it. Oh, I see, Robert. Here, I'm gonna get to your question a bit. As the season wore on, he was less effective. Correct. This year, now it's showing something. Now we're seeing something a little bit. I think he's already gone 7 innings 1 year. I think in Philadelphia. Christian, thank you, Christian, for giving me that information. I think he went one time, he went 7, but he usually doesn't go deep, even when he's healthy. And when I mean by healthy, that he's not tired. He's still only going 5 innings. And to answer your question here, Robert, would you condone Hicks pitching 5 innings and Birdsong? No, I don't. You know why? Because then you're wasting Birdsong. What if you're going to throw Birdsong 4 innings or even 3? Why not just make him a starter? Right? And then move Hicks into the bullpen, so then you have a lockdown bullpen. If you have a bullpen of Hicks, Doval, and Miller, not Miller, I'm sorry, Walker, that's pretty damn good, man. That's pretty damn good. That makes the team better. Because that's all I want. I want to make the team better. I am not, how do you want to say this? You shouldn't just do what the player wants sometimes. Sometimes you got to do what's best for the team and not what's best for the player. Does he want to start? I'm sure he does. Is that best for the team? I don't know at this particular time. That's something that the organization is going to have to answer. But I don't like a pitcher if he can only go 5. I don't like that. I don't. Hell of this, hell of that. You're not lying. Correct, Joshua. Yes, correct. That's how I've been with him from the very beginning, Joshua, is I'm not anti-Hicks. I just don't think he's in the right role. But that's me. Look, some guys can be starters, some guys can't. But you gotta sometimes you gotta look at yourself in the mirror sometimes. He's having some technical issues. He's having issues where his camera and his microphone can't connect. I know he's got a new iPad that he's trying to use, and he's having some issues. We're trying to get him to get it to work. We'll see what happens. Let me see. He's been messaging. Yeah. Yeah, weird. Yeah, he's just having some technical issues with that iPad. But yeah, and that's I just want to put guys in positions where they can succeed. And if they succeed, it's best for the team, right? That isn't that the most important? We're all San Francisco Giants fans. Well, most of us in this chat are San Francisco Giants fans. So you want whatever you could do to win as a team. And sometimes you got to make these hard decisions to where you got to go, you know what? We gave you a shot. You had last year to show something. You have, up to this point, you've already had 6 or 7 starts, and maybe you need to go back to the pen. I mean, that's okay. That's okay. As long as you're communicating, right? And if you're treating them like an ass, well, then that's a different story. But I don't think that's what's happening. You just got to have that communication, right? Hey, dude, we think you could make us a lot of money in the bullpen. Hicks was dominant for 5 innings, and he was. Yes, he was awesome for 5 innings. But Robert, at the end of the day, what did that get you? It almost got him a loss because he fell apart in the 6th inning. So what's the point? What's the point of those 5 innings when then you had 1 inning, which was the 6th, and it all came apart? Do you see what I'm saying? And Robert, and what makes it even more frustrating, I thought he should have came out for the 6th inning. He looked great. It's like, okay, normally he doesn't go past 5 for the most part, but he's doing so damn good. Yeah, go ahead. Go out there for the 6th inning. And it absolutely came apart, man. Sean, and that could be something. And maybe there is something to that, Sean. But you know what? Come on. As a club, there's no way that they could be beholden to that, right? There's no way I can. Because there's got to be situations in a season where a club has a starter that isn't getting it done, so they throw him in the bullpen. That seems like it's a little bit egregious, don't you think? I don't think a club would sign off on something like that. Then again, we're talking about Farhan Zaidi, who signed a contract, so I don't know. But it just seems, something's weird about that. I don't know. Johnny, Eric, honestly, I think Buster has a plan in regards to Hicks. I would agree. He sees what's going on and he's not dumb. I agree. I think if he makes a move when the time is right, I agree. That's 100%. I think that's what I'm trying to highlight here, Johnny. It's up to the organization to make these calls. We could sit here as fans and just kind of, as they say, just around the water cooler, right? Just having a gab fest. Oh, he's trying to come in again. We'll see. Kyle, answer this, please. Hicks, okay. Would you rather have him set you back starting or set you back in the 6th or 7th? You want to play for behind from the start or now be losing in the 7th? Interesting. Well, I'll tell you what. Are you trying to say that he may fail as a reliever? Is that what you're trying to say? More cat. Now, Kobe Mayo, by the way, guys, got his call. He's back up in the big league, so we'll see what he does. Trust the Buster process, indeed. Yeah, no reason to doubt him yet. You know, I still have questions on what he could do as far as trades and free agents. You know, that's to be determined, TBD. But we'll see. And there you go. Right, Dallas, perfect. You know what? Hey, guys. For those of you, why not? Let's throw it out there. Anyone wants to come in, throw out the link. The plan is to give him a shot. He's getting a shot, and he's been given a shot, right? All last year, and so far, the beginning of this year. How much run does he get with a 6 ERA? We'll see. Yeah. Yep. I didn't even know his whip is 1.5. Hold on, man. Don't be saying that. That is not a good whip, by the way, guys. Again, that's how many guys you allow with hits and walks. Let's see what we got here. A 1.5 whip. You are correct, sir. Holy crap. Ain't getting it done, man. Hicks would not be a good closer. I think he would be good high leverage. I'll tell you why. I think he would be good. Dean, I see you. I'll bring you up here in a minute. I'll tell you what it is. Because the guy will come out just high velocity for 1 inning. You're going to come out, you're going to throw 15 to 20 pitches, and your night's done. You just go out there and you just throw out, you're a flamethrower. That's it. Boom. That's all we need you to do, man. Because he could be dominant. He had success as a high leverage. I think that's for me. This is just me. I feel like that would be the better choice. All right, hey, let's bring in Dean and Kyle. All right, I got 2 guys coming in. Dean, Kyle, what's up, guys?
Hey, Eric, how's it going, man?
Going, man. It's going. Let me start with Dean. Dean, what'd you think of the game, man?
Yeah, a little dicey for a while there. I don't know what it is with the Giants in the 6th inning, but for some reason they seem to have some pretty wild 6th innings. So today, of course, is included. Yeah, you know, I mean, offense came alive when it needed to. I was definitely frustrated by their lack of ability to hit on a guy who came into the game with over a 10 ERA and was also not a lefty, so can't use that excuse either.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely still have plenty of concerns about the offense. Getting to see Chapman homer back-to-back games now is looking pretty good. Willie Adames, as you mentioned, is starting to kind of come along.
I like his at-bats.
Yeah, his at-bats have been a lot more competitive now. He's
correct,
steadily bringing the average up. So that's looking nice. And then, but otherwise, everything else has been kind of the same, you know? Well, Matos got a home run there, so I'm liking his eye at the plate.
Hey, you know what? And you know what else he did today? And something that he's known for is having a good eye. Getting 2 walks, man. He's not he's always had a good eye. But he hasn't been taking those walks, so it was a little bit weird. But yeah, man, dude, I'm telling you, Kyle, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna ask you this question. We've been talking about it. Kyle Hicks. Kyle Hicks, listen to me. Jordan Hicks. What do you do with this guy? I mean, do you like him? I'm going to ask you, do you like him as a starter or not?
It's such a interesting situation because I haven't really seen this before. With Jordan Hicks, there's legitimate upside with him as a starter. And, last year you can chalk it up to him being in his first year as a starter.
Correct.
Trying to transition from the bullpen. But now we're in year 2. He's added on all the muscle. And it just still isn't happening. And
It's still right.
Well, at this point, you wonder if he goes to the bullpen, what he's going to look like in the pen. I mean, there's a very realistic possibility that Camilo Duvall, Ryan Walker, Tyler Rogers are all better than him in the bullpen. So it's just a really strange situation. But once,
there you go.
So once my point of view is give Hicks his shot, give him till June probably.
Fair.
But once he goes into the bullpen, he doesn't come out ever.
Right. That's fair.
Dallas, you don't try this again next year.
Right. I mean, I'll talk to you about this too, Dallas. I mean, it's weird because today, right? Because he has that thing where he just has issues going past 5. It's like, come on, man. Do you like him as a starter? I had the same thing I asked Kyle. Do you like him as a starter? I haven't. He's had flashes, but there have been
times. There was a time last year when he was our best starter for, the first month of the season.
Correct.
He's been okay this year, but he's had bad. He's had stretches where he's just really bad, and it's cost him. I mean, he's given up a lot of runs. So I don't know. I mean, I see they're giving him his shot. They're going to do that, but I think I am a little more positive on him transitioning to the bullpen. They want to give him his shot as a starter, but he's a different pitcher as a in the bullpen. He will be able to, like, he takes velocity off to try and make it farther in the game. And he's pushing it a little farther now. He's throwing 97, 98, 99 today. He hit on a couple pitches. And so he's letting a little bit more out of the tank, to try and have a little more dominance as a starter, I think, now. But when he does that, they're going to have a real short leash with him. Like, once he threw 5 balls out of 6 pitches or whatever, I was like, it's over, and I'm like, come on, Melvin, let's go. And then they had to give up the 3 runs before he actually came out and pulled him. But you got to have a real short leash, I think, getting in, in the 5th inning and beyond.
Right. I mean, and how long can you keep doing that? Because you want your guys to go at least 6, right? I mean,
you do.
I mean, come
because
on.
You could piggyback him with Birdsong or Bivens, but
then you lose them.
Melvin
if you
seems
need
to
them,
have a tough time doing that. He wants to use Birdsong in different situations, like he did yesterday. He used Birdsong on 2 innings yesterday, and I was like, well, it would sure be nice if they had saved him for today, because I had a feeling that Hicks wasn't going to be able to go deep into the game.
Dallas, great point. I remember you brought that up in the chat, and I forgot to bring it up. That's a great point, because I think they kind of underutilized Birdsong in that respect.
So they pieced it together today. Duvall in the 7th, which is kind of an odd role for him, but he got it done, no problem. Then they went to Miller in the 8th, which is odd. That's not his normal position, but
no, it's not.
Got it done, gave up a hit, but got through it. And then Walker made it through. So they made it through, but it wasn't your traditional bullpen roles today.
Yeah, it wasn't. That was a little bit odd. And it's a weird place to really do that. Hey, Glenn, I see what you're saying down there. Again, you could try getting on your phone. If not, then we'll just see you tomorrow, man. But why would you do these experiments when the game was on the line? It's one thing that, maybe that's what he wanted to do, just to see how they do under the pressure. I guess, I don't know, but that is a little bit weird. Again, going back to yesterday, going to Birdsong, rather than to maybe Bivens. Bivens went the day before, didn't he? But but there was only 2 innings, so they could have brought in Eric Miller yesterday, right? Because
they could have, but I think maybe he was worried yesterday about, he wanted to make sure he got the win. Bring in Birdsong.
He panicked, maybe a little bit of.
If you lose two in a row to the Rockies, there's a different mood for sure.
That is the truth. Let's see, where else can we go with this? Dallas, before I get to Dean, because I know, or even before, actually go to Kyle, because he's the president of the fan club. Luis Matos. What do you think, man?
I love it.
I love watching him play, but the problem is where does he get the playing time, man?
Yeah, I know. And like the whole Luis Matos conversation, it goes so much deeper than just like, should he play today? For the people out there who haven't watched my channel, my opinion is that this should be a rebuilding year where you discover who your right fielder is next year, who your first baseman is next year, who your DH is next year. And second base looks pretty good right now. You should figure out who 2 of your starters are next year. That's why I'm so against the Verlander signing from the start. But seeing Luis Matos play a good game today was so refreshing, because I think that he's been mishandled extremely poorly ever since he's been called up to the major leagues.
It's fair.
If we go back along his timeline, as a 21-year-old, he hit 250 playing center field every day.
Yes.
The next year, he gets sent down to AAA, gets called up, doesn't play, gets sent back down, goes in a slump, gets called back up, wins Player of the Week, plays 8 bad games, gets sent back down. And then this year, he was hitting 400 at the start of the year, and they just canned him pretty much.
Hey, let's not forget, in the winter, he won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And they didn't even give it. And that's the crazy. The guy gets this. He does this incredible thing. The thing you want him to do in the offseason, which is produce, and then you get him into spring training, and then it's like, you're kind of the fourth outfielder for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I know Mike Yastrzemski's playing well right now. At the end of the year, he's going to hit 240 with about 16 home runs with a 25% strikeout rate. So is like, if you bat Matos in there half the time, is that really going to be the difference between you missing the playoffs or not?
Right.
My opinion is Matos should get a lot more playing time, and I think that I was going nuts this past week when he wasn't in the lineup one time for a whole week.
Yeah, it's crazy. It made no sense. It was like mothballed. Hey, Kyle, I see you down there. I'll bring you up here in a minute. Hey, before I get to you, Dean, let's listen to what young Matos had to say in the postgame.
We're not hearing anything.
You can't hear it? Can you not hear it? What the hell is going on here, man? What is going on with this damn machine, man? Why isn't it sharing? Look at this. This is weird. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but let's try this again. Hold on. Hold on. Let's bring it back about right here because he's speaking Spanish. Here we go.
To control what I can control. It's very difficult to be productive. It's difficult to help the team, especially when you're not playing every single day. But whenever I come in to the ballpark, I come in and I do my entire routine like if I'm going to be in the lineup.
There you go. So to reiterate, this is what he said. It's very difficult to be productive. It's very difficult to help the team, especially when you're not playing every single day. But whenever I come into the park, I do my routine like if I'm going to be in the lineup. So again, look, I'm proud of him to go out and say something like that. I mean, that's not, he's still a young guy, and he's letting people know and know in certain terms. He's not, he's being respectful about it, but he's saying, dude, how do I get into a quote unquote rhythm if I'm not playing every single day? What do you think, Dean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was talking about that in the post game, and yeah, it's just like he's being severely underutilized, and it's like, honestly, like when this is the kind of production that like last year I would have expected, we kind of expect to see more of this kind of like walking and non-striking out production that we would normally see out of Wade from years past, and now we're seeing it in Matos, and it's just like, okay, he's filling in this role that we really needed on this team, and we're not utilizing it. I mean, we're not even giving him enough at bats to get comfortable, because they're leaving Yaz in against lefties so much more often this year than in seasons past. And there have been some at bats where he's been able to get through, but by and large, his success has largely been against the righties. So, especially with a lot of teams, especially I kind of started noticing this from the Angels series onward, that a lot of bullpen arms they were sending in a lot of bullpen arms for with lefties for multiple or like more than one inning. And so I was just like, this would be good opportunities for Matos to get some at bats, and they just weren't utilizing it. And I know that Yastrzemski's had a good offensive start, but you still got to play to your strengths. And right now, Yastrzemski's strength is still in facing pitchers that are pitching right. So
makes sense, right? Dallas, do you feel the same way, Matos?
Yeah, I mean, I was on the record saying that I didn't want to see much of Yaz. I wanted Yaz to be the fourth outfielder.
Yes.
Give Matos some run at the beginning of the season, because I know what Mike Yastrzemski is, and I want to see Matos get some run, for the future.
Right.
But they gave Yaz, as the veteran, he came in and he's been hitting. And unfortunately for Matos, when Yaz is hitting 283 with 5 home runs and, putting together good at bats, there's not going to be that much playing time, because there's not that many left-handed pitchers that you face. So even in a platoon situation, Matos is going to get the short end of the stick, because Yaz is a lefty. So he was already off to, wasn't going to get that much time. Yeah. And because Yaz has played so well, he's gotten even less time, which doesn't bode well for him, because you got to be able to play if you're going to get in rhythm and be able to, find your swing, and, it just sitting on the bench doesn't happen. Also, it's not a bad thing, but the Giants have been very healthy this season.
They have.
No one's missing any games because they're all healthy. And I don't want to complain about that, because at some point this year, Matos is going to get a shot, because there's no way that all three of those guys stay healthy all year long.
Correct. That makes sense.
Same argument for Verlander, and the young pitchers. Yes, a lot of people, Kyle was saying he wasn't in favor of the Verlander signing, but the Giants do need more innings. They weren't going to get, their 180 innings out of the 5 starters that they had. They were going to have to get innings, from other starters. And it's only because the rotation has remained healthy the first month of the season that we haven't seen Harrison, we haven't seen Birdsong, we haven't seen Wisenhunt. Probably we will at some point this year. It's very rare that a team is healthy the whole year. So right now it's like, yes, you'd like to see these players get more time, but be careful what you wish for, because they will get time at some point.
No, great point. That's a great point. But real quick, before I bring Kyle in here and make my point about Matos as well, Corbin Burns going to have to miss a start. Shoulder is. Here we go. Maybe it's good that the Giants. Maybe my is a little bit more fortuitous than I thought.
Is that going to be when the Giants are, because they're playing the Diamondbacks pretty soon?
Yeah, I think they said he's only supposed to miss one start. We'll see.
Okay.
That's he's not on the IL. He's day to day with the shoulder. So we'll see how that all works out. Now, Matos, here's another thing to your point, Dallas. Here's another thing. We already know who, like you said, he's playing above his head a little bit because he doesn't play this well, right? I mean, he's decent. He's always known for his good glove, but his bat would be a little bit streaky.
We can blame Barry Bonds for that.
So next year, what if they decide to go shopping for an outfit? You don't even know who you have in Matos. Do you see what I'm saying? You've already given up on Matos. You've had the opportunity before you. Last year, he run in 23. Last year, it was sporadic, as Kyle was talking about. And this year, he's basically almost non-existent to a certain fact. So you don't even know who you have in Matos, and it sucks because this is the time you should know. So when it comes time next year, hey, do we want to go shopping on the free agent market, or do we have someone in-house that's going to be pretty damn good? And again, we don't know who Matos is. It was the same thing with Ramos. Ramos got lucky because Jung-Hoo Lee got injured. If he didn't get injured, who knows where Ramos would have been?
Yeah, they're kind of between a rock and a hard place, though. They could have Matos in Sacramento getting every day at bats.
Correct.
And he could be hot, but then who do you have on the major league roster as a backup outfielder?
Nobody. That's the problem. Yeah, it's like you
tough,
said, rock and a hard place. Let me bring in Kyle. Hey, what's up, Kyle?
Just have to assume that it will happen.
Yeah, right. Where are you at? You camping?
Yeah. No. Backyard, got a fire going.
Hey, nice.
Hey, no, I just had a quick thought. I wanted to get all your guys' thoughts on it. I've been thinking about it because the whole Hicks thing has been kind of weird. If he continues, let's say, down this path, would you rather have Hicks start and put us in a hole, or would you rather have him blow a lead, or maybe,
you talking about later in the game?
Ties it up, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's you're kind of going like this. So
I
know
but he is a little bit different coming out of it because he's had success. And I think, Dallas, you talked about it too. Look, and it's not just, and I like what Skank Pants, he said, velocity is not everything. I get it. But to what Dallas was saying.
It's not everything, yeah.
But the problem is when he was throwing that high heat, you know how much movement he had on his pitches? He was throwing sinkers at like 100 miles an hour. You want to talk about some nasty movement, but when you're doing it at 94 and 96, right? It doesn't have, because he's conserving his powers, right? Because he's got to get through a game compared to just one inning where you just got to go 15, 20 innings and you just go all out. Again, the stuff is a lot more wicked, and then you have more success. So that's I think if you look at his numbers, if you look at him when he was in the bullpen, he was good. Matter of fact, I think he was the Cardinals closer there for a while, right?
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. I think he was a closer.
I mean, it's like throw 101 and then like, dude, get some command and back it off to like 88. Like, think about that. Just like,
right.
Look, this thing's like 20 miles an hour slower, and just like get more touch on the ball. Like boom, boom, boom. I don't know. That's
and you're changing different looks. I mean, you got a submariner in Tyler, right? He comes in the 7th. 8th, it could be Hicks. And then the 9th, I mean, you can even alternate between who's going to close between Doval, Walker, and Hicks if you wanted to. I mean, there's different ways the Giants could do this, and they would have an absolute incredible bullpen.
It's already pretty darn good.
Go ahead.
It is, no doubt about it.
We need a bat, an arm. What do you think about the trade deadline? What do you think is going to happen?
Oh man, we're so far away on that.
So far away. But I don't know. It's kind of fun to think about.
They can't buy. They won't sell ever.
That's the problem. They don't do either. They don't. They look. And I've said this. I said this in the offseason. This is the problem with the Giants. When they don't trade prospects for MLB players, and then they don't sell their MLB players for prospects. They don't. They just go with what they have, it seems. And I don't understand it when you can make your team you can make your team better either way. Because if you're out of it, well, then you go get your prospects and see what they turn into.
Well, we have not seen Buster in this situation.
Not yet.
We don't know
yet.
what he's going to do.
That's correct.
But the normal Giants way would be identify your biggest need, which is first base, and get a serviceable player, not a sexy name, but they'll get someone who can hold down the position and
a bat and an arm.
But we'll see. We don't know what's going to happen yet.
Let's talk about this then. Kyle, I'll come back to you and then go to Dean. First base. Do you keep rolling with Wade, or would you make a move somewhere? And if you want, have your eyes on, if anybody.
Sorry, which
Torkelson?
Kyle?
I'm sorry. Soder.
We got a couple Kyles in here.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So which clown is gonna answer here? I don't know.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
So the question is, what do we do with Wade?
Yeah, do you roll with them or do you make a move? And if you do make a move, and who is it? And it's not going to be hell of this, hell of that. I know you want to talk about Torkelson. It ain't happening. Detroit is not getting rid of Torkelson because they're really good baseball. They ain't trading him.
Yeah, so my whole thing with first base is even if Lamont Wade Jr. doesn't work out, the Giants are just trying to monkey bars this until Bryce Eldridge comes of age.
Okay.
If Wade doesn't work out, they're gonna go with VR. If VR doesn't work out, they're gonna go with Schmidt. If Schmidt doesn't work out, then they're gonna go with Encarnacion.
Gotcha. You're staying in house.
Gonna roll right on through, and it's not. I don't like it. I don't support it, but that's their plan. That being said, though, I do feel like Lamont Wade Jr.'s at-bat quality has gotten better. I feel like he's starting to barrel some balls.
It has.
So hopefully he comes out of our slump, and we don't need to go through that whole circus where we just start rotating through people.
And I tell you what, and I like what you're saying, but Dean, how long do you roll with a guy who's batting into 120? You still got to be able to produce and look. And yes, he's hitting the ball a lot better. He's not striking out as much, but he's still not taking as many walks as he normally does. So, I mean, what do you think, Dean? Stay with Wade or you make a move?
Oh man. I mean, I honestly think, given the current trajectory and the way that things have been going, I do think I think they might make a move, but honestly, I couldn't tell you who for. It's not going to be anybody particularly strong. I can probably guarantee at least that much, which is why I feel like Kyle said, it's going to be more. It'll be more likely that they just stay in house and just throw whatever they have at the wall and see what sticks there.
Fair.
Which I know isn't fun baseball. It's not glamorous baseball, but it's necessitative baseball, I would say.
Right. Okay, Kyle, from the McKiernan clan, unite the clans. Unite them.
Why do you always say that, man? Why do you always say that?
Because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let me ask you this. Instead of going the route of where you think the club's going to go, what would you like to see, Wade, or would you like to see a move?
I think they're just a rock and a hard spot. I think you got to roll the Wade. I would like to see some more pitching a little bit. I think let's see, like Wisenhunt. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, he's young, but Eldridge is whatever. He's not coming up unless it's like late September. So I don't know. I think they're kind of stuck right now. I mean, Wade has it. He's got it. Like we all late night. Lamont. Oh my gosh! Like he can hit a ball. He's got bat to ball skills. Good hand-eye contact. Baseball's the hardest sport. I mean, I give him some more time. I think it's hard.
No, I agree.
Guess what? We're not in last place. So
right, and I'll tell you what, Eldridge. Yes, he needs to he needs to percolate a little bit more down into minor leagues. But there you go. He was 1 for 3 today, batting .303 with an 880 OPS. So he's taking care of business in AA, which is good to see. You want to keep, and I want to be.
They put him down to AA. I thought he's in AAA.
I'll tell you why. AA's competition is much more fierce than AAA. AAA is almost like a holding pattern for people to get up to the majors. So he's seen like top tier pitching in AA. So that's good on him to be able to get that experience. But I think maybe he stays there maybe a month or two, and then we'll probably see him up in Sacramento, and he'll be in the holding pattern. But again,
I think
it's something to keep an eye on.
I didn't check today, but yesterday he had struck out 44% of the time so far since he's been back from his injury. That's ugly. Yes, he's hitting, but he's striking out a lot. He needs to.
Yeah, his first couple of games were atrocious. His first couple of games were absolutely bad, and now over the last 3 games, he's starting to show something. So that's good. That's all. Again, he's getting into the groove of things. Dallas, I'll ask you, first base, man. You think the Giants make a move, or they just roll?
Guys, I'm gonna eat some pizza. I'll watch. Eric, love you. Peace.
All right, thanks, Kyle. See you, buddy.
All right, guys, I'll keep watching. See you.
Right on. All right.
I think they're going to try everything they can with what's in house. They'll give Wade run. I mean, he is showing signs of life. I think he was down to like 0.95 batting average, and he's brought it up to 131, something like that.
He's 122 now after today.
Okay. Well,
yeah, whatever. It's 120s.
Yeah. But
that's tough, man. That's tough.
If he's in a month got it up to 200, then that means he's playing well. And
agreed.
Then we're in pretty good shape. But it's just a matter of is Wade gonna do what's on the back of his baseball card, over the course of the season, after the bad start, or not. When KC Schmidt gets back, we can see what he's got. Encarnacion, can he even handle first base? We don't know. Right. So they're going to try all these things out internally. But if at the trade deadline there's still a huge hole there, then I do think they will make a move, and it's not going to be.
Nothing crazy. It's
not a big name.
Crazy.
It's going to be like maybe more than a Mark Canha, but not much more. It's going to be someone who can hold down the position and give you a major league at bat.
Right.
It's not going to be a big name.
Well, I tell you what, we just looked at. Let's take a look at Sacramento.
I don't think that we see Eldridge this year.
No. Maybe a September call up. Get his cup of coffee, maybe. But no, he needs to stay where he's at. Matter of fact, game's still going on, and it is 5-1 Reno. All right, let's take a look. Remember, we looked at this the other day, man, and boy, there is nobody hitting for the River Cats right now. Oh, man. Okay. McRae, batting .230. Who's Johnson, left fielder, batting .125. Luciano, batting .224. Barracoda, 196. Lamb, 235. Porter, 210. Alcantara, 244. Auerbach, 225. 7. And Ramos at second base. Different Ramos. 333. So
they're like the Giants.
Jake Lamb, is that who they bring? But the problem is, if you bring up Jake Lamb, now you're talking 40-man. That's why it sucked with Schmidt going down, because Schmidt was starting to look pretty damn good, right? And then he gets that damn oblique. And now you've got Fitzgerald, who's got a fractured rib. So that right side of the infield right now is not exactly tip-top shape. Wisely will be okay at second base for now, but I don't want to see a prolonged, right? Exactly. I don't want to. And VR, I don't want to. We've seen the VR story before, and I'm not. Look, again, they're just piecing it together. But let's be honest, Dean. I mean, is the Giants? Let's be real. Do we want them to go to playoffs? Absolutely. Are they built though to be a playoff contending team, Dean?
With their pitching, they could be decent. Mm-hmm. I think.
Okay.
In a series, I think, especially if they hit their stride at the right time. I don't know that you'd want to face that starting pitching and the bullpen, the pitching in general.
That's fair. But that lineup.
Yeah, that's the question: is do they have enough to be able to put some runs on the board? But that was how it was in that year.
Yeah, it was
2010.
True, but they also had guys that were, there were still guys out there that were give up some really good at bats. Professional. There weren't guys batting 200, so to speak. It was maybe high 200 or mid 200s.
Right.
But because it's a different style of baseball than it was. Again, Dean, what do you think? You think is this team? I mean, the pitching right now, there could be something there. But do you?
I think I'm a little bit more on the side of I don't think they quite have it in them yet. I feel like the lineup as we're seeing it right now is. I do think that this is kind of like a high floor, low. I mean, there's a reasonable ceiling, but I don't know if we're quite going to get there. The thing that I'm actually most worried about right now, outside of the main lineup, is I'm still not 100% there with our starting rotation. They've had some pretty good starts lately, but if we look at the competition that we've had, they've had their decent starts against, they've been against the Brewers, who have like a not exactly the most inspiring offense, but it's not a bad offense either. But then they had the Rangers, who had I think they may still have the fewest runs scored in all of baseball right now. And now we have the Rockies, who may not have the fewest run scores, but have the lowest batting average out of all teams in the league. So we're going up against teams that have not been producing very much offensively.
That's fair.
But they held their own against the Yankees and the Phillies.
Two Padres games, they struggled. And now after this Rockies series, we've got the Cubs, who have the best batting average in the league.
That's going to be a tough one.
That's going to be an interesting series to watch. We're both right now, I think we're both pretty much at the same record right now. And it's going to be interesting to see, because these are two very different teams in spite of the fact that they have the same record. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays.
Right. Exactly. Kyle, let me ask you this before we get into tomorrow's game. Got an upcoming series against the Chicago Cubs and the A's. It's not going to be easy, man. We were talking about the Yankees and the Phillies, and those are still tough teams to play against. Giants were able to split and win the series against New York and Philadelphia, respectively. So this is good. I think the way that these two teams are playing right now, it's not going to be easy. Both of these teams can hit the ball. The pitching, I think Cubs got a little bit better pitching than the A's. But, man, what do you think about these upcoming series coming up?
Yeah, you really need to take care of business tomorrow against the Rockies. Because if you split with the Rockies before you go to Chicago and then come back to play the A's, then you're asking for trouble at that point. But I'm with Dean, actually. I'm just as concerned about our rotation going into these next couple series and just in the long term for the rest of the season. I'm just as concerned with our pitching rotation as I am with our batting lineup.
Okay. Let me ask you this for tomorrow. Did they swap? If I'm not mistaken, they swapped Roop and Webb, right? Or is he going on regular? I'm not sure. I thought Roop was supposed to go, or was it supposed to be Webb? Was it supposed to be Webb on this one? Maybe it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Webb goes before Roop because they kept him on regular rest.
They kept it on regular rest. Gotcha. Man, I don't know if I would have.
So
I don't like Roop pitching in Chicago, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be an adventure, but you need to take care of business tomorrow, and then those are two really good measuring stick series to see how you stack up against the better teams in the MLB.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch those. I mean, it's gonna be a test. It's gonna be similar to how the Yankees and the Phillies were, and the Giants were able to do well. But you know how it is in Chicago, man. If the wind's blowing out, watch out. Score's going to be inflated. If it's blowing in, well, then the pitchers will be able to dominate. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Tomorrow, Dallas Giants win tomorrow, right? With Webb going.
I think they need to. Yes, they will win tomorrow.
Yeah, they got.
I'll go with that. And just one other thing, positivity with Bailey hitting 155 the first, month of the season, Wade at 131, Adames at 211, Chapman at 202, and Matos at 146.
It's crazy, isn't it?
All the 5 of those guys are not going to hit that way the whole season.
No, correct.
So now, being where we're at with the offense being as anemic as they have been is a good sign because
they're going to get better.
Maybe, not all of them will get better. Maybe one of them has a crap year and they're done. We'll have to move on from them, but that's not going to be the case with all of them. So, especially the seasoned veterans that are making a lot of money, they're going to figure out a way to get it going.
And Thomas, look, they should, as long as there's no injury, play to the back of the baseball card, be 240, 250 hitters, right? Have some pop in the bat. That's what we should be seeing from those two guys. Matos, he's not a 60 something. He isn't a 160 hitter.
No, he's not.
He's not.
I mean, they need consistent playing time to be able to get on track, to be able to improve that. We'll see if that happens. We already talked about that, but these guys will hit better. So I think the offense, we've seen low averages. They've done well hitting in situational hitting, getting hits when they need hits, and their record is good at this point. The hitting will be better. The pitching, hopefully it stays as good. Maybe it probably won't. People will have rough patches. That always happens.
Yes. Great point.
And then the injuries, they've been lucky on injuries.
Yes.
That won't stay the same either. So there's a lot of factors going on here, but
that's baseball, man. That's why I don't get too crazy in the first couple of months, just because it's 162 games and there's so many variables that some you can and some you can't control. And then I'm gonna ask all you guys, Dean, I'll start with you. Had a month of baseball? Are you sticking with whatever your prediction was and what the team is going to do by the end of the year?
Yeah, I had them pegged as an 85 win team going into the season because I did believe that it was a slightly improved version of the roster that we had last year. I do think that this is an above 500 team, not by much, right? But I do think it's an above 500 team. Is it enough to get into the playoffs? I still don't really know yet. But I will say to give the Giants credit, the first month of the season was pretty tough, just in terms of the quality of competition and the amount of days in a row that they had. They had a very tough March and April schedule.
Yes.
And they got out of it in a pretty good spot.
It's smelling pretty good, right?
Yeah. And we're looking into this. We're 8 games over 500 now. I don't think anybody had us pegged to be 8 games over 500 going into the first few days of May. Absolutely not. So, I'm enjoying it for the time that we have it. Obviously, many things can change for the better or for the worse in the future. But yeah, I think this upcoming series against the Cubs and the A's and the D-backs, this is going to be where we're really going to kind of get a sense of where the trajectory is, and if they really have been kind of overachieving, or if there's actually a new low we could potentially find. That's the beauty of the baseball season being the way that it is. Anything can happen.
Nice. Kyle, what do you think, man? You're going to stick? I'm not saying you have to change, but do you see it? Do you see the team kind of projecting where you thought they were going to be?
Well, they're definitely above where I think everyone besides Robert Rothberg was projected at the beginning of the season. I had them pegged as a 77 win team coming into the season, so I was one of the lower people on the Giants. A large part of that was due to me thinking that they were going to be, I thought at this point of the season they would know who Luis Matos was, and if he didn't work out, they would be moving on to McRae in a month or so to figure out who he is. And I thought they'd be figuring out who Hayden Birdsong is, and we still don't really know. So they just seem to be. It seems to me that with the hot start to the season, they've sort of moved away from long-term plans to figure out who the future of their franchise is.
Okay.
So they're playing to win as many games as possible in 2025, which I don't necessarily agree with, but if you make the playoffs, then great. So they're definitely above where I was projecting them to be. Hopefully they can keep it up. I still have concerns about the pitching staff and the durability that the pitching staff has throughout the season.
That's fair. Dallas, where are you at? A month of baseball in the can, man.
Yeah. So, I had them about 85 wins at the beginning of the season because they won 80 last year. I thought with the addition of a shortstop, that would make a difference. Having Ramos the entire year, having Lee the entire year, I think, there was a little bit of upside there. So I had him at 85. But right now, the rest of the season, if they play 500 ball from now till the end of the season, they will be at 85 wins. So the question is, do I think they're going to play 500 ball all the rest of the way, or are they going to play above 500 ball the rest of the way?
Interesting.
I think they're a good enough team that they will play above 500 ball. They were not going to play 618 that they have so far, but I think, it'll be, 5-6 games over 500 the rest of the way, which would put them at 91. So I can see,
Wow.
I'll say over 90 now.
Wow.
I don't think it's that big of a stretch.
It's no, you put it that way. If you play 500 ball, that's a good way to look at it. You play 500 ball the rest of the way out. Would you say
if they play 500 ball the rest of the way out, Posey is not going to be happy. He wants to win series. And if they start losing series, things might start moving around.
That's fair. That's a great point.
I don't know that he puts up with it. If they continue winning series like they have, I mean, how many series have they lost? 2?
Not many. They lost. They
split one and lost 2, or lost 1.
To Cincinnati.
They lost 2. Cincinnati and the San Diego. Those are the only 2 series they lost, right? That's it.
Angels too.
Oh, and the Angels. I forgot about the Angels.
Okay, so 3.
3 out of that. That's pretty good.
So they're up to a good start, but I just think that they're gonna be better than 500. So I think my 85
closer
is low.
to 90. You
so
think
I'll
it's
go
low ball?
closer to. I'll go 90.
Nice. I stick with 84.
And that's
we'll see.
We're 20% of the way through the season. We're at 1/5.
We're almost to the quarter pole, man.
Yeah.
Almost. I think if I'm not mistaken, you get to Memorial Day. I think that's right around the quarter pole, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. And again, I love how Marty Lurie does that all the time. He uses the different holidays. He uses his the Memorial Day as your quarter pole. 4th of July is your halfway mark, and then Labor Day is like your 3/4 pole. So it's great to use those type of holidays just to show where you're at as far as the baseball season is concerned. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting. Okay, let me ask you this, Dallas. Do you think the Giants have been playing a little bit over their head, or not? Or you think?
Yes.
Yeah,
they have been. They've been winning all these close. These come from behind.
A lot of walk-offs.
They've had 5 walk-offs so far, which it's that's lucky in some respects, but it also says something about the character of the team, the grittiness or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a little bit of both, a little bit of luck, a little bit of that gritty it factor where they can grind out and get things done. So it bodes in their favor, but I do think that Wilmer Flores single-handedly won like 4 games for them. Without Wilmer Flores, they would be in a completely different situation. And which is, yes, Wilmer's having a good year. He's historically been a good player, except last year. So it's not all luck, but there has been some luck that you can factor in.
Absolutely. There is luck. And I know Glenn, he gets on that all the time with the clover. And look, luck is part of the game. It's built into the game. It's just the way it is. Is it the predominant thing? No, but luck does play a factor.
So there's luck, but then you also make your own luck.
Correct.
Yes, absolutely.
Making every play.
Yes.
Running out all your, taking the extra base, running out every ground ball, forcing the errors, putting the pressure on their defense. So you can play the game the right way, and then luck kind of trickles in your favor.
Correct. Because you got look, right? And I said this a whole bunch of times. You make the team have to catch and throw the ball. Look, you got an opportunity in front of you, because sometimes they'll get it and sometimes they don't. And you, like you said, you make your own luck and you're able to scratch some runs across. Real quick, let me finish this poll. What do you prefer as far as Hicks is concerned? Hicks only going 5 is 38%. Let him have no restrictions. 10. Send him to the pen. 52%. So I guess that is what wins the day. Send him to the pen. And hey, maybe that eventually happens. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon, because I think, as you said, I mean, he's had run, though. That's the thing, right, Dallas? He's had run. Kyle had run. He had a whole season last year, and now, I mean, I don't want to come back to Hicks again, but I don't know. Maybe that eventually happens. I guess maybe they give him a few more starts. I think, Dallas, you said maybe he goes until June. That's a possibility. Problem is, you got to be careful, because you don't want to use all his bullets, and then once he comes to the bullpen, he's ineffective. That's what they did last year.
Yeah, but this start today, people are kind of down on him because he gave up some at the end, but pretty good start today. If he pitches like he did tonight, then he'll stick in that rotation for a while.
Correct. Correct.
So it really, and his velocity was up tonight, so he looked pretty good.
Yeah, he was at 99 today. Yeah. It's crazy. How does that happen? I mean, there was no signs of him showing any weakness or nothing. He was just out there dealing. And in the 6th inning, he just couldn't get nobody out. Lost command. He just, again, maybe, even though you put on all that muscle and everything, sometimes you still get tired, I don't know.
Yeah, and actually a point that this kind of speaks to, we were mentioning is this, like, there's this sentiment that the Giants have been getting a little bit lucky by virtue of, like, the fact that I think now they have 11 out of their 21 wins that are comebacks of 2 runs or more. And one thing that needs to be said, though, is, like, part of that is just is partially just purely due to volume. Our starting pitchers are kind of putting us in those situations early on, and we have to come back from those. So a lot of it is not, it's not like, a lot of other teams are getting into 2-run deficits and try and fail to come back. No, the Giants are just in a lot of games where they happen to have 2-run deficits because their starting rotation just puts them in a hole early. We saw before this Rockies series, there were plenty of games where we were giving up runs in the 1st, 2nd innings, and then we would have to claw our way back somehow. Yeah. And I just keep thinking to myself, is like, man, how much is it to ask for us to just have an easy game where we take the lead early and just hold it?
Hold on. Yeah, I know.
That was yesterday's game. Was
not
really
had a game like that.
Yeah. Yesterday's game was like that. Yeah. With Ray. Ray was fantastic. And, it's good to see him.
Yeah. Yesterday's game was a really good way. It was like, that's where I was like, thank you. I'm finally glad that we're getting this game. Granted, it's against the Rockies.
Right.
But you hope that you can see more of that. But I haven't been seeing a lot of that, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
Well, 10 more games against the Rockies.
There you go. You got to get them. You got to get those, man.
Yep. We'll just put that in my column there right now.
Nice.
But so compared, one second. So compared to last year, though, these 2-run deficits, and you feel like you're still in the game, that's a lot better than last year's 4 or 5-run deficits, and you're just flip the TV off and you're done.
Yes.
The attitude of this team is completely different than last year.
Right, Kyle. Yeah, let me hear you before we get out of here, because that's something I did want to talk about. It seems like this team doesn't have you don't lose unless it's a total absolute blowout. The team's always got that fight in them, and I love to see that. That's great. That's a great characteristic about the team, that they're not giving up, so to speak. So yeah, speak to that, Kyle.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I've been focusing on my channel is, like, last year it seemed like players were just showing up to the office, clocking in.
Yeah.
And then the Giants were that team where, like, in the 9th inning, they're sitting right next to the timer so that they could clock out as soon as the game ended.
Right.
And then this year, you've got quotes from Mike Yastrzemski saying he feels like he's playing baseball again. You had reports from spring training saying the mood from the entire team was completely different. And part of that is Willy Adames being in the lineup, but part of that is, like,
yes,
these guys are nice and comfortable in the major leagues. They're not getting yo-yoed back up and down from AAA to the majors. They're not going back and forth from SAC to San Francisco.
They're sticking with their team other than injuries, right?
That's what they're doing. It's just injuries. So I think I think the culture that Buster Posey is trying to create is starting to set into the team. The personnel, you guys were talking about this a couple days ago. Posey's personnel is going to take years to set in, but his culture, I think we're already starting to see it set in.
Correct. Absolutely.
I think Willy Adames makes a big difference. I think
he does.
He hasn't done much with the bat yet, but just as a cheerleader and setting a tone in that clubhouse and just on the bench in the dugout, he is invested, and I think that catches on to the rest of the team.
Dividends, absolutely, 100%, because his bat will come around. His bat will come around, and then people can kind of put to bed, oh, you just paid him this much money to be a cheerleader, right? Yeah, but I don't think that's the case with Willie. He'll come around. There's no doubt about it. And we got, honestly, right? It's a new club. He's probably stressing a little bit, pressing, so to speak. He just got paid a bunch of money, He wants to make sure he's going to go out there.
Better at bats.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Same thing with Ramos. Ramos is having a lot better at bats too. All right, guys. Hey, but thanks for popping on. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Much appreciated. And we'll see you guys back tomorrow. Oh, by the way, Hot Corner. It's going to be a little bit weird tomorrow, guys. Stupid freaking Warriors screwed everything up, man. We're supposed to do Hot Corner every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Well, we're not going to be able to do that because the Warriors play at 5:30, and Dan's going to be doing postgame for the Warriors, of course. That's huge. It's Game 7, and then tomorrow, we're going to do the Hot Corner right after the game. There's going to be 2 Hot Corners. We're going to do one right after the game for a postgame. We're going to do it for like 30 minutes or so, and then we're going to do the longer version of Hot Corner at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, 9:30. Again, allow them to get their post game done, and usually it's a late crowd here, anyways. And then we'll going to start pushing out the fundraiser, guys. So, guys, be watching out for it tomorrow. Hot Corner. If you guys want a chance to win 4 tickets to the front row of San Francisco Giants game. And matter of fact, you get to go on the field for batting practice as well. So it's pretty cool stuff. And again, we're helping. It's going to be a nice charity. We're going to donate some money to a girl who's going through a rare cancer. So we're going to generate this money, send it off to her. And then for those of you who are partaking, have a chance to win some pretty excellent tickets. Again, donated by Lou Marston. It's his tickets, and he's giving them up for people to go and enjoy that. So it should be pretty cool. Again, tomorrow, 9 o'clock, be looking out for that. Anyways, Dallas, Kyle, Dean, appreciate it, guys. All right, there we go, guys. Appreciate those guys coming in. And I'd like to hear what other people have to say about the San Francisco Giants, man. You know me, I like to talk, and I love to hear what other people have to say. It's good stuff. And, I love doing this stuff, man. I haven't said it enough. I said it when I first started the channel. It's like, I love doing this, man. It's fun. I love talking baseball. And I love interacting with everyone who participates in the fandom of the San Francisco Giants. Hey, and just in baseball in general, right? Because we got a lot of guys in here who are Mets fans and Dodger fans, Yankees fans, you name it, man. We got a whole bunch of different people. So anyways, guys, appreciate you guys hanging out here on this Saturday night. We'll be back, like I said, tomorrow. You're going to see 2 Hot Corners, one in the afternoon right after the game, and then another one later at night. All right, until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, and we'll see ya. Woo!
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.